Hey guys, what's up? Blake here from Rapture Films, coming at you with another episode of Destination Unknown, where the only thing certain is uncertainty. Here with me is Josh Elliott. Say hello to the people, Josh.
Hello to the people, Josh. I hate that I just did that.
Yeah. I also hate it just a little bit. So to anybody out there who is not aware of this, the reason that this podcast says episode 7, we actually had a podcast going on our second channel for a little bit, Blake and Josh, and we've decided to revamp that, change it over to the main channel here, and hence episode 7.
Yeah, the old podcast was a video podcast, and we didn't transfer the episodes over to Rapture Films, but if you go to the playlist section of our channel,
we can put it in the description of this video.
Yeah, they should all be there. So we will add the new episodes to that playlist along with the old episodes from our other channel. So
the reason that we've transitioned only to audio, we were experiencing quite a few problems doing the video, and to be honest, it was kind of butt quality anyway. We were just recording with our laptops, so it's not like it's a huge difference from here on out. Josh, how does it feel? It's been quite a long time since we've recorded a podcast.
Yeah, it feels weird. I feel way underprepared in comparison to how it used to be, because I used to have a huge notepad full of things that I could talk about, but right now I'm just sitting, alone with my microphone. I don't have anything to look at now. I'm just kind of facing the wall, but we're just going to go for it. We're going to see what happens.
What would you normally be doing at 7 p.m. on a Monday night?
Well, probably all the homework that I neglected to do the rest of the weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I have to do when we're done here. So
the truth comes out.
Yeah, this is actually just a very interesting form of procrastination. We're creating content to avoid responsibilities.
Yes.
Now, Josh, we're nearly a month into 2019. How has this year been going for you so far?
Man, that's weird to think about.
It is.
It is weird to think about how long we have been in 2019.
I mean, it feels like just yesterday I watched the ball drop.
Okay, what's weird, though? The weirdest thing about it is 2019, to me, has always been a date that I've been anticipating for a very long time, just because I knew that was the year I would be graduating from college. And now that it's here, it's so bizarre. It just feels like every other year. It also, I don't know, man, college just flew by.
It doesn't feel real. It doesn't. That here
I feel like I've been
3 or 4
it.
months. Yeah, it feels like in 3 or 4 months, I'm going to be out in the real world, so are you, and it's just interesting to think that, this is the year that it happens, but I've still not really, mentally accepted that. I don't think I will have mentally accepted it until, 6 months outside of college, I'm sitting at home having had a degree for, 180 days, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm graduated. I don't think it's really going to settle in until that point.
Yeah. I heard something interesting the other day. That I am starting to buy. I'm starting to think that it's accurate.
Okay.
I've heard that, how when you're little, you look at your parents and you just feel like they just have it all together.
Yes. I'm
under the opinion that I think everybody is just faking it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no. I feel
because
yeah.
I've been, existing for 22 years now. And it's gotten to this point where I'm about to graduate from college, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And I've never had any idea what I'm doing. And here I am. I'm about to walk across the stage with a diploma for, all the books that I didn't read or buy.
Yeah,
to
listen,
quote John Mulaney.
I will concede something to you, Josh. I feel as though I've been through enough of college to know what at least this one is like, at least what Ball State University is like. And I will tell you, I have loved my experience here. I have loved all the people that I've met, and I've loved all the opportunity that I've been given, but it is overrated. The things, when I say it's overrated, I mean the educational aspect, because I will tell you that a lot of my classes were passed by Quizlet, and I hate to say that I'm a cheater like that, but, you know, it's true. All of these BS classes that I didn't want to take, you know, it's quite easy to just click, 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 and Google can pass college for you. That's just the truth.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I was told that, like, with my current, like, study habits, this is back in high school, like, I was told by my teachers, they're like, Josh, you're a smart kid, but with your study habits, you're not going to make it in college. And let me tell you, my study habits have not really changed. I'm probably marginally more responsible, and my grades have remained largely the same. And I'm just here, and I'm about to get a degree.
My favorite thing is every teacher who, you know, I feel like all my life people were like, you know, you can't just cram the night before an exam and expect to pass it. That's not how it works.
Oh, you absolutely can.
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You absolutely can.
Anybody who said that is a square, and they're trying to tell you lies. Because you can. That's how I've passed basically every exam since I've been here. Really, the only thing that's taught me anything worthwhile while I've been at college has been my job. You know, working...
I don't know how I feel about talking about these things to our young, impressionable audience and saying, you don't have to try in college.
Well, no, it's not that. It's, I feel as though, you know, anybody who's ever said college was overrated in the sense that, like, people place too much value in it. As in, like, I will still have needed this degree. You know, it's not like this has been worthless time. Like, when I exit with a degree, I'm going to have far more experience than I would have if I just sort of entered the workforce, especially for my field, since I'm trying to go into video. And that degree is going to be very valuable to me. But when I think about, like, what I've actually learned and how I learned it, I know I could have done it without the school aspect. I love college, but I hate class. I've always hated class, and I can't wait for it to be over with.
Yeah, I mean, I've without a doubt learned all kinds of things since I've been in college, but I tend to agree with you. Like, I don't know if it's stuff that I wouldn't have learned just being out in the world and doing it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I appreciate my time that I've spent in college, and it's definitely been very valuable and transformative. You know, and I'm becoming the person that I'm going to be, and college is a large part of that. So, I mean, I'm happy. So,
yeah, no, and
definitely
the people
not wasted
that I've
time. Some of the best years of my life, for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. But I believe I told you something once that you know, one day you threw back to me when I was feeling bad, and that's so that I try to make every year the best year of my life, and that's something that I don't plan to stop after college, because. Have you ever met somebody who you really thought, man, they peaked in high school or they peaked in college? And it is sad to think that, like, you stopped advancing or you stopped growing after those few years or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I definitely don't want to be that person. And
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. I've got big goals in life, and I've always just kind of been I've always been the kind of person that just kind of takes one day at a time and doesn't really worry about anything. Yeah. Maybe that'll come back to bite me in the butt, because, like, I do have big goals and aspirations, and definitely things that I'll have to work towards.
Yes.
But, I mean, I don't know. I'm loving life and having a great time, and I guess that's what it's all about in the end.
Now, Josh, switching gears a little bit, this is still tangentially related to college, because people at college helped us accomplish this, but we never really had a chance to debrief on one of the biggest things that happened to us in 2018. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, for sure, because it's in our little summary agenda of what we were going to talk about today.
Of course. So, Luigi's Mansion the musical. Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. We've probably oversaturated the market with just the word Luigi, but it's because it took a lot of resources from us, and it was the biggest project that we've ever done, and we never really had a chance to actually talk about any of the things that went into the behind the scenes, at least not in an official capacity, I suppose.
Yeah, and I feel like we have just... It feels like we've exhausted the subject, but at the same time, a lot of the people that'll be listening to this probably haven't heard us talk about any of these things.
No, because the only people I feel like I've exhausted talking about it to are like the people that I work with and the people who will listen to me.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't feel like we're beating a dead horse or anything by talking about it. And I think it's something that a lot of our subscribers would probably be interested in hearing about. So
tell me about how, I mean, so this idea came to you originally. You sort of shared this vision. Tell me about the conception of this.
Yeah, so this was an idea that happened, that came to mind, years ago. And because like we've expressed a little bit, Luigi's Mansion is at least one of my personal favorite games from my childhood. And I think you could say the same, that it's like a special game at least.
For sure.
And I always thought it would be a really cool idea to just work on a musical interpretation of something like that.
Yeah.
And when we originally had the idea, I was talking to my at the time roommate Mark about it. And
who is Luigi in the musical?
Yes, who plays Luigi in the musical. And we talked about it a lot, and we talked about what we would have to do to make it happen and what we would want the songs to be and all this stuff. And it really never went past that, and it was just kind of like a cool dream that we never thought would happen. Mm-hmm. And Mark and I talk about those kinds of things all the time. We just hypothetical things that would just be really cool, or we wish somebody would do, or, things along those lines. But it was never real until, I don't even know what brought it on.
I remember you pitched it to me, and when you did, I laughed. And not because I thought it was a bad idea, but because I thought there is absolutely no way we could ever do that. Just
it
nothing.
Seemed impossible.
No, because you pitched to until the day it was done, it seemed impossible to me anyway. And I put in a lot of hours. I remember when you pitched it to me, I said, that's never going to happen. And then once we filmed this, I spent many, many, many days making a hypocrite of myself by making it happen.
Yeah, I don't know. It got to the point where I had talked to so many people about it, and so many people just wanted me to go for it. And granted, these are people that are not really into film as far as creating film.
Yeah.
They're not video makers and that kind of stuff. So they didn't really have a complete grasp on how much work it would be.
Putting it together. Yeah.
Yeah. But they knew it would be a lot of work, but they'd seen what I'd done with other things like campus projects and stuff. And they just constantly are like, Josh, do it. This would be awesome. This would be so cool.
Yeah.
And eventually I caved, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a script and see what happens. And so I sat down and I wrote the script, which honestly, since its conception, didn't really change much at all.
No, I mean, that is
outside of fine tuning, but the script largely remained the same for its entire lifespan.
Yeah.
And I sent Blake the script. And then Blake read the script, and you can talk about this in a second, but I don't think it really became real even then until we sent you a video of, until Mark and I sent you a video of us, of one of the songs we had written for it.
Well, that was the moment when I knew I would regret it if I didn't help make this. Well, no, because it's you send me words on paper, and words can say anything. I mean, it's not that it wasn't a good script, because I love how it's translated. But you sent me the script, and that's just not to me that wasn't enough. Because you sent me some words. It's all right, you've got it written out. That doesn't really constitute much as far as this is a musical. What are these words going to say? Because at the time, it didn't even have lyrics on it. It just said this song begins. And I remember badgering you for weeks about it. What is this song? I want to know how this sounds. And to be honest, I didn't hear the final mixes of those songs until the day before we released the video. That is how
That's
long.
True.
And not I know that it takes time. I know that all of that time was spent perfecting it. But when we released that teaser, it motivated us, but at the same time, I don't ever want to do that again because we released a teaser for a musical
dear
and we
Lord.
didn't have any songs, we didn't have any video, we didn't use any of that video from the teaser in the musical. It was basically just like we made this wild and outlandish promise, and for months and months afterwards, we worked to make sure that we didn't look like fools.
Oh, it was horrifying because we released a teaser. I don't even know when we released it.
It was May.
Like,
it was May.
We released a teaser in May for a musical that was written, but only had one song like finished for, and we hadn't recorded any of it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we did that, promising it on Halloween.
Well, here's the thing. It's because I remember. So I'm gonna fast forward in time a little bit past conception, through the edit. So we went through the process of filming it over. Was that 3 or 4 days? I think it was 4.
You got to Johnson on a Friday or Thursday?
I believe it was a Thursday night. It was a Thursday night because you skipped class on Friday.
Yeah,
so we could shoot
we recorded on Friday. That was our first day, and that was our studio day.
Yes.
So we did all the stuff in like the green screen room, and we set up the dark room for some of the shots from the Brothers Ballad song. Yeah, so that was our studio day, and then we did the trail stuff that day, like Luigi approaching the mansion.
Yes.
Yeah, so it would have been 3 days. It was 3 days.
Well, it would have been Friday set. Yeah, you're right. It was 3 days. It felt like 4, because we were up at 7 a.m. every morning, and we shot until like 1 a.m. every day, but Sunday because I had to leave Sunday.
Yeah.
But they were long hours, and in doing so, we had the best crew anybody could ever ask for because
absolutely
not really. A few of them were trained, but that was it. Like as far as knowing what to do with like film equipment, our dear friend Quillen and Raylan both knew what they were doing, but everybody else just brought this hopeless enthusiasm, and that's more than I could have asked for. I think I would have rather had them on set than somebody who knew what they were doing but weren't excited about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like our crew, and I'm just going to name them all because I don't even know if they'll listen to this podcast, but I just want to continue to show appreciation for them. So Raylan and Q both were... We couldn't have done it without Raylan and Q, honestly. Like, no. We could not have done it without them. And then beyond that, Journey and Elijah were just troopers. They were with us the entire time. Like, outside of, I think, Friday. Because Friday, like, you and I were pretty much the only ones that were there for the entirety of filming.
Yeah.
But Elijah and Journey were just troopers, and also very encouraging when Blake and I would get like discouraged about something.
Yes.
I felt like that entire weekend, I felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders, and I know that you felt the same way.
Yeah, I remember when I made it back to Muncie. I had to get back for an 8:30 a.m. meeting at work, and I remember I got back around 4 in the morning. I dropped off all the equipment. I got to bed about 5:30. I slept for probably an hour and a half. And then I got up and I went to work, and everybody was asking me, they're like, how did it go? How did it go? Because I made this very public to people that I worked with as another, like, level of assurance. It's like, okay, I can't there were so many checks and balances in place as far as, like, all right, this has to get done. Like, there is no excuse that it can't get done. And I had no voice left from, like, yelling and, like, just... I don't even remember what it was, at what point I lost my voice, but I couldn't speak for almost the whole day. Like, just recovering.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was quite the experience. And I really do think that it paid off because, I mean, if you haven't noticed, which I know you have because you respond to them, in all the comments, what have we been hearing the most? People want another one. People want Super Mario Sunshine, the musical. I don't know how many times we've been asked for that. And as much as I'd love to will it into existence, we just at least need some time. It's not totally out of the question.
I planned on talking about it a little bit at the end of of us talking about Luigi's Mansion, but I would like to touch on it briefly because a lot of people are asking about it. Yeah. And the short answer, we want to do it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, Blake and I are both full-time students right now, like in our last semester of college, and we just finished the first one, and we need a little bit of time. I want to do it, and I'm completely convinced that, you know, it is a huge project that I will undertake, like, for certain at some point. Like, I mean, I can't promise anything for certain, but like, I mean, it's something that we want to do. So I can't promise a time. I can't promise if it'll even actually happen. But
it is something that is absolutely on our radar. You know,
I can assure you that we want it to happen.
Yeah, it's to anybody out there who maybe left a comment. You know, we have seen it and we do want to do it. It's just, you know, personally, the toll that it took on the two of us physically to actually make that musical happen. Oh, it was rough. I mean, it really was, actually, because
and the thing is, I would go through all of that again in a heartbeat because
I would, but
I love
the
Luigi's
process could be
Mansion
better.
more than anything.
Me
but
too.
It's just so complicated how much stuff goes into it. Because first of all, we have to have a compelling script, which
that's where it starts.
Which that's where it starts, and then beyond that, we have to have original songs, which this is just me being the perfectionist that I am. I want them to be better than the soundtrack from the first musical, and I would want them to be entirely choreographed.
Yeah, which is something we did not do for the last one, but it involves a whole new level of like...
And if we do Mario Sunshine the Musical, we may not even do it for that. But that's what I want. That's what I would want. And that's what I would try to do. And that's what Blake would tell me we couldn't do, and that's what I would assure him that we would do. And... isn't that the beauty of you and I's partnership? Well, yeah, no.
Most of us working together is me saying, "Yeah, that's never going to happen." You're like, "No, you can. Like, we can do it." And I'm like, "No, I don't think we can do it." And you say, "Yeah, we can." And then I go through an intense amount of stress, and then I'm like, "Okay, yeah, we could do it."
We're a good balance because I'm a hopeless optimist and I am a dreamer at my core. And Blake is such a realist.
Yeah, I don't feel that I'm a cynic, and it's not like I'm a cynic in any capacity. It's
no,
definitely
not.
Yeah, it's like the reality of the situation. I remember like when you told me, dude, I about for lack of a better term, I about shat a brick when you told me after I'd written the shots list that you'd added 2 scenes. I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Are you serious? You added 2 scenes?"
But after the fact, I'm very glad that I added those scenes.
Oh, no. Like, it did work. It worked out great. We got them done. But it's just like, think about me in this moment. I'm already,
I understand.
Like, I've written a shots list that it's like, all right, we have to get 110 shots every single day. And you're like, oh, yeah, by the way, in addition to that, there are 2 more scenes. What? Now it's not the time to be adding things.
Yeah, something I also want to touch on, because I believe I'm actually certain that I've told you this, but a lot of people probably wouldn't know this, is the fact that I cut a song out of the musical.
Yes, you did tell me this.
Yeah, so in the musical, there's a large gap of time between the first and second song, between Mario's World
I think people
and
have noticed it. I do think people have noticed it, for better or for worse, you know.
And I hate that that's a thing. And like, the time in between is not bad at all. It's just, it feels weird that it's a musical and there's like a large gap of time in between the first and second song. And that's because, sure enough, I cut out a song from the musical. And really the only reason for it was if we would have kept that song in, we couldn't have done it that weekend. Like, we would have had to film 2 weekends.
And that pushes the cost, because like you think about like what it takes.
Also, having another song completely like recorded and like put together by
in that short of amount of time,
our release date that we promised for some reason. I just don't know. Like, I would say that we couldn't have done it. I think we probably could have, but you got to think about like what it took. Feasible at the time.
No, I I don't know. I don't, like, when I think about what we did in the amount of time that we had, it really, I don't think that we could have done it. I think we could have done it if we spaced it out over more than one weekend, because I'll just be honest, if/when we do Super Mario Sunshine the Musical, we cannot do it the same way that we did this one on that schedule.
Wouldn't, because we wouldn't be college students.
Yeah, you're right.
So it would be a completely different experience altogether.
It would be, because like I had to like ask off work, I had to skip class, you had to skip class, like the amount of sacrifices that we made to make this happen. I got a speeding ticket when I was driving there, which
you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, well I did, because I
you didn't have to get a speeding ticket.
I did make that sound like that was a necessary part of the process, didn't I? Like, yeah, I was driving so fast. Oh.
Because Josh told me I had to drive all the way from Muncie to Knoxville in 4 hours, so I had to drive 120.
Even though it's a 6-hour drive, I swear though, I saw if I hadn't got by the first cop, that stretch of road where I got pulled over, I saw 7 cops in a 2-minute period. But they were like,
at least
you
learned your lesson, and you didn't continue to fly down the road and get pulled over 6 more times.
Oh god, I cannot imagine getting pulled over twice. Like what would the cop say? I mean, like, you get pulled over a second time, and he's like, "All right, let's check your." Oh my god, like 5 minutes ago, really?
That's a funny idea for a skit.
Yeah, or we could just do it in real life and see what happens.
Yeah, or we could just record it in real life.
Yeah.
You know, that'd probably help us get exposed a lot quicker and easier.
Yeah, people would think we're idiots.
Oh gosh, but yeah. To wrap up Luigi's Mansion, I guess. Unless you have more that you want to say about it.
But I didn't have too terribly much. I was gonna throw this out there. Dude, we call the name of this podcast Super Mario Sunshine the Musical ? And then everybody who watched Luigi's Mansion and got excited about it will watch this, and that's clickbait, and I don't care. At the 27-minute mark in this podcast, you're gonna hear me say that I don't care. Yeah, take that. No, but if anybody, I guess I just like to hear the thoughts of people about this. I mean, I know people are excited about it, but just if anybody had anything to say in the comments, I'd love to hear it. Everybody's obviously been asking for it, and we'd love to make it happen, but just, yeah, I want to hear from the people. Yeah,
and I don't know. I don't know what I was about to say. We can move on to the next thing.
All right, Josh, I have something here for you. I have a game pulled up that I would like to play with you.
Oh, good gosh.
Are you ready? It's something very simple. All right. So this here is one of the only games I could think of that we could just play over the phone. We're going to do a Mad Lib. All right?
Okay.
Yes. And today we're going to be learning about the history of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh gosh.
Which, tangent real quick. Have you seen the poster for the live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
Yes, I have, and it's
That
disturbing.
is the most horrific thing I've ever seen. It needs to go away. The director of the movie actually tweeted. He just tweeted, like, "Everybody relax."
That's so funny.
Just the words, "Everybody relax," because people were freaking out so hard. But I digress.
It's weird. I don't know why. Okay, hang on. Before we do this, why is that movie being made? Like, I don't understand.
You know, I feel like Sonic the Hedgehog. So he's got a very vehemently active fan base. That is one thing that cannot be questioned.
And I would be fine with a Sonic movie.
But like the games,
why has it got to be live action?
The games have been just received so lukewarm in the past decade. Sonic the Hedgehog really isn't that cool anymore.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and Sonic Heroes are the last good Sonic games, and you can at me if you disagree.
Yeah, so Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, dude, I remember raising all the chows, okay? And it never occurred to me as a kid that chows is actually just the word chaos. You know, like Chaos Emeralds and all that. I digress
didn't realize
again.
That until just now.
The Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 video game has a 4.4 out of 10 on GameSpot. I believe he kisses a human girl in that game, and everybody was like, "Oh, maybe don't. You know, maybe don't do that in your video game. It's rated E10+." Do you remember? Did you ever
And
play
then
the
we
game?
like to brush under the rug that Shadow the Hedgehog murdered
that
people.
is exactly what I was. I remember as a kid, I got that game in 5th grade, and he's like an edgelord because like the first time I played that game, he fell off the side, and you know, like in the Sonic Adventure 2 battle, they'd just be like, ugh, or they'd grunt or something. But when Shadow fell off the side, he'd say, "Damn," and you're like, "What?" You like here I am, like a 10-year-old kid, like, what did he just say? And he falls off. He goes, "Damn." Like, why did they have to make him swear? It was just such a weird choice. Such a weird choice for them to do. But I guess he's a dark character, and he uses guns.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but tangents are welcome.
Yeah.
I really want Sega to just, swallow their pride and just sell out to Nintendo. And I know that's a horrible thing to want for a company. But if Nintendo bought out Sega, just think of all the amazing things that would happen. First of all, we would get good Sonic games again. But then beyond that, think about Super Smash Brothers. If Sega was owned by Nintendo, they could just put in Sonic characters and nobody would care. I'm not one of those people that wants them to add a ton of third-party characters that just have nothing to do with Nintendo. I've never been one of those people. But if Sonic was a Nintendo IP, go for it. Add Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Eggman, just do it. That would be awesome.
I get, I'll be honest, Josh, before you said that, I thought Nintendo did own Sega. I thought they bought Sega a while ago. Well, they just do so many games with Sonic. Because, Sega doesn't make systems anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Sega's just a glorified third-party company at this point.
Okay, yeah, and I feel comfortable saying that. Because, what's Sega gonna do? Produce another subpar Sonic the Hedgehog video game?
Gosh, okay. Let's steer this away from the Sega hate.
An adjective.
You're just gonna jump right in.
Well,
do we not get to hear anything, or do we just have to go in?
No, give me an adjective.
I don't know, man.
When's the last time you? Okay, we're gonna give me a noun. Person, place,
John?
object. That's a proper noun. Just give me a regular noun.
Cat.
Give me another noun.
Dog.
Give me a plural body part.
Thumbs. No, let's go fingies.
Oh. Okay, now I need 3 different verbs. In the present tense. Yeah. Run.
Swim.
Swim.
And leap.
Leap. All right, I need an adjective.
Shoot, I don't know. What is an adjective?
Josh, don't tell me you just asked me what an adjective is.
Isn't it fat or something?
Yep, fat is an adjective.
Okay.
An adjective is something that describes. An adjective is something that describes a noun.
I know.
Well, you asked me what an adjective was.
I know. I just keep going. It's a lost cause.
Wait, do you want me to write fat? Do I write fat?
Yeah, write fat.
Okay,
That's
but
fine.
I need another adjective because we skipped the first one.
Smelly.
Okay. And a noun.
Airport.
And a verb ending in ed.
Pumped.
A number.
40.
Another noun.
Oh gosh. Hedgehog.
All right, I need 2 adjectives. All right, lightning round, quick.
Quick. God, fat.
Quick. Quick. Another one.
Green.
All right, now I need a place. It could be anywhere.
Tokyo.
All right. Now I need a funny word.
Placenta. I hate that I just said that.
I need 2 letters now. Just letters.
X.
And
X.
all right. Are you ready to hear the history of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Sure, yeah.
So maybe this will describe why Sega makes subpar games. Here we go.
Okay.
It's 1990, and Sega isn't making very smelly games. Nintendo's mascot Mario is making more and more games that are way better than any of Sega's. Okay, I'd like to point out that really there was only one thing that we'd written in there. Mad Lib's is roasting Sega on its own. Then, Sega had an cat. What they needed is a Mario of their own. They had the dog of making a rabbit that can stretch his fingies out and run things. That plan didn't go so well. They needed an animal that can swim itself and leap enemies by doing only a spin. They noticed that hedgehogs have quills that swim and leap, so they went with the hedgehog. Since he was planned to be a rabbit, they programmed him to run at a fat speed. Then in 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog was released for the Sega Airport.
What?
In the first year, it pumped Mario by 40 copies.
Oh, gosh.
Sonic was then known as Sega's Hedgehog. Well, I guess that works.
Wait, 40 copies?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Over the years...
Very narrow margin of victory there.
Over the years, Sonic has taken on many faucets. In 1998, he took on a fat style in the game Sonic Adventure. Today, Mario and Sonic are still green rivals. Also, in winter 2007, Mario and Sonic will compete in the 2008 Tokyo Olympics. Where were the where were the Olympics in 2008? It wasn't Tokyo, was it? It was Beijing, right?
No, they're Tokyo. I think they're in Tokyo this year.
I believe it was... Yeah, it was Beijing.
This next Olympics, I mean.
Anyway, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games for the Nintendo Placenta and the Nintendo XX.
Nice.
Well, let's not do that again.
I hated every second of that.
Yeah, man. To everybody who just listened to that, I'm sorry.
Man, who wanted to do a Mad Lib? What a horrible idea.
Well, I really feel like the person who came up with that idea was just trying to do good things. And, I'd like to move on now.
Okay, move on we shall.
Yeah. Josh, this made me... we were talking about... I remembered what we were talking about a second ago, but... tangent. Have you ever thought of the TV show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Like, did you ever watch that show?
I never watched it, no.
No? I was thinking about it today, and I was thinking about, just the education system and how the oddly specific things that they teach you throughout the years, and I considered it and I was like, man, I bet fifth graders are probably smarter than a lot of people. When you go on that game show, you take your average adult and they're like, oh yeah, I'm smarter than a fifth grader. And then they go there and they're asking questions about the Revolutionary War or something like that. Something that this fifth grader probably just learned in history class.
Yeah.
And you probably, you, a 35-year-old adult man, probably haven't thought about it since you were in fifth grade. Who's going to be smarter in this aspect? Probably Timmy, the little fifth grader. And it just made me wonder, what game shows, do you think that you would perform well on? Because, there are different categories of game shows.
Yeah.
There's some that, require actual skill, and there's some that are purely chance.
I mean, it is interesting because you just saw a 22-year-old man
ask what an adjective is.
Stumble over an adjective in a Mad Lib.
Yeah.
So I think Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader is definitely an interesting game show.
It is. I don't think
it's
I'm
out
smarter
for
than
me.
one.
I'm
Yeah.
not going on there. But I don't know. It's an interesting question. I would say the one I would most like to go on, not the one I would do the best at, but I would love to train for like 3 years and go on American Ninja Warrior.
Oh,
Because
okay, that is not the route that I expected. Like I was thinking of all these brain
I'm going to
games.
go a very different route with my actual answer, but that is what I would most like to do.
No, that would be awesome. Yeah.
But a little more realistic, I guess.
No, I mean I believe anybody can like go to open tryouts for American Ninja Warrior. Like you maybe even make it on TV.
Yeah,
like
that's fair. Yeah.
you don't have to train to like enter, but like you have to train if you want to win for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think as far as doing well, I think, I don't know, like, I think I've always been, like, decently good at trivia, so, which is most game shows, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I think the one I would want to do most is probably, like, Family Feud or something, because
Okay.
I think it's the most likely for me to win money.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Do you have
Like,
do you have like a
I
big
could-
enough immediate family that you could jump in though? Like who would you invite to your Family Feud?
So I would go a couple of different routes with this because they do different things. If it was actually my like family,
Yeah.
I would probably go on with my mom, dad, and aunt and uncle, Steve and Kim, my
Okay.
dad's brother and his wife. And I think that would be a solid team because I think we cover a lot of areas.
Yeah, like there's a
where
lot of
we would do
diversity.
well in.
Yeah.
So a lot of our viewers are probably new subscribers. We've just had a roller coaster of an existence as a YouTube channel where
Yes.
we've collected, lost, gained subscribers. Like, who knows? But
I don't know who any of you are.
a lot of you probably haven't seen a lot of our older videos. So, Blake, if you were to tell our most loyal of new subscribers that have listened to this whole podcast what videos they should go back and watch, let's say 3, what videos would you say? What videos would you send them to?
What videos would I send? So if they need to go back in time and watch some.
We're assuming that they have found our channel through Luigi's Mansion. Or at least
Okay.
they've seen Luigi's Mansion. So we're not going to throw
Okay.
that one out there.
I would recommend they watch We Don't Cuss
Yeah, I agree.
if they haven't seen it. I think that's a classic. I would recommend that they watch. I've got the channel pulled up right here. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to think if I really want to go back into like high school Rapture films because that's
Probably-
a different beast entirely.
Probably not.
Yeah, you're right. I think they should watch Not So Mortal Kombat 5.
Is that the one
I
with
think
you
that's
and
a
I?
good- Yes. I
Okay.
think that's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. I think the best
It's a
one.
good introduction.
I think the best one is Not So Mortal Kombat 7, so we can throw
Yeah.
both of those out there.
Yeah, just as another one. we keep saying, all right, let's pick 3 or let's pick 5, and then we're like, we'll just throw them all out there. So I say We Don't Cuss, Not So Mortal Kombat 5, and I think Indiana Josh 2.
Yeah, I do think Indiana Josh 2 is still one of our best made videos.
It had a lot of heart.
Yeah, I will, just for the sake of doing it, I'll say a different 3. I'll go ahead and say Not So Mortal Kombat 7, just kind of as a
Yeah.
little counter to Blake's 5. Also, I would strongly recommend the Magic Off trilogy.
We'll just count it as one.
You might as well watch all 3 of them, let's be honest. But yeah, it started as one. It ended up being a trilogy. They're all good. And then heck, we'll throw the recent one out there that I mentioned briefly and say Anime Poker.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, every action movie trailer ever is a good one too. The Paperboy and Stop Me Now, or I'll name every Rapture Films video
Yeah.
we've ever made.
All right, so thank you all so much for joining us if you've stayed throughout the entire video. What we'd really like to do for the following video is something that we tried before, and we would like to revive. We would like to revive viewer questions, viewer musings, viewer thoughts. So if there's anything that you'd like to ask the two of us and have us answer in the next podcast, feel free to leave us a comment below, and we will address that in our next podcast. As it stands, our current schedule is we're hoping to release new podcasts every other Tuesday at 12 p.m. I believe that is Central Time. So noon every other Tuesday, we're going to be coming out with a new podcast. If you've got a burning question that you'd really like to know, if there's anything specifically you'd like to know about a video, about us, or if there's some sort of conversation topic that you'd like us to address, please, by all means, let us know in the comments below. That is all I have for this episode. Josh, are you good?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that people forget things sometimes. And, there are very basic things that you know as a human. And just because I didn't know off the top of my head what an adjective was doesn't make me less of a person.
Well, I would disagree, but I digress. This has been Destination Unknown. Goodbye.
All right, goodbye.